Across beds, hearts and bucks, this is Ian Lee on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, how would you feel if you moved into a gorgeous area and then weeks later you found out that a landfill could be built on your doorstep? Well, that's what's happened to Zena Herbert, who moved to Wixham's last month. She's amongst hundreds of people who are objecting to plans for a waste management facility at the old clay pits just south of Bedford. Well, Zena's on the phone now. Morning, Zena.
Oh, good morning, Ian.
Did you know about the landfill and waste management plans before you moved in?
No, not at all. The searches that I had done didn't show anything at all about the proposal, and its boundary is 30 metres from the nearest house.
Ouch.
30 metres!
So, how long have you been there, and how long after moving in did you find out that this was being proposed?
I found out just before I moved in. I found out possibly the middle of November, and of course I joined the objections then, but I didn't move in until mid-December.
OK, so contracts had been signed up and you were committed to it then?
I was committed.
How did that make you feel?
I felt dreadful. I felt it had been underhand, that there'd been some deceit somewhere. And had I known about it, I don't think I would have continued with the purchase.
So it's so important to you that had you had the opportunity, you wouldn't have moved there?
Well, that's right. They say that the site will process almost 250,000 tonnes of agricultural waste, but they don't say if that's green waste or animal excrement. Now, if it's animal poo, the stench is going to be horrendous, and possibly even beyond control. I know the people who are proposing this site, FCC, have a site at Dorset Head in Nottinghamshire, and that has many complaints about ongoing unbearable smells. The houses have heat exchange units that bring in the outside air. So the stink of the slurry would just fill every single room and be inescapable. Well, who wants to live with that?
Supposing, Zena, it wasn't animal waste, so you didn't have that smell. Would that be better?
I think even with green waste you get smell, and the amount of rubbish they're speaking of processing there, and the litter. And the other thing I'm concerned about is the possibility of flooding. We have two lakes that are natural runoffs and water basins. The proposal says they're going to drain these lakes and fill the space and install extra drainage. Well, that sounds fine, but extra drainage to where? If the lakes are filled and built over, what happens to the water that feeds them? You know, I've lived in an area where the water authorities installed extra drainage and it raised the water table. If the lakes are drained, I think it's inevitable that the water table will rise in an area already prone to flooding. Apart from the dangers, it might cause residents problems with house insurance.
Zena, why did you choose to move to Wixham's?
I think it's the leading example in this country of what new housing development can achieve. It's a big and ambitious plan, only about 5,500 houses, schools, public amenities, a railway station. It's very peaceful, it's built with a lot of sympathy. There's been 10 years of investment by Gallagher's, who are the master developers. It's a friendly place, it's very clean. It's just delightful. I love being there.
I drove past it the other day and it looks fantastic. But do you think it's realistic that you and the other people living there can be successful in your fight against these plans?
Yes, I do. I think last week, in fact, I heard him myself, the Prime Minister and his deputy stated that building new and affordable houses is a government priority, a top priority. And this week, the Housing Minister, Mr Bowles, said that new housing stock is essential, even if they have to build on greenfield sites. Now, as you know, Wixham has been developed on a brownfield site, which is the better solution. I think if the proposal is accepted, it will be a gross betrayal of everyone who's invested in Wixham's. Gallagher's have been working on it 10 years, you know.
But the coalition say that of course they want to build more homes, but they've done that with Wixham's. The building of this waste plant doesn't doesn't change the fact that they've built these homes. So they have ticked their box, haven't they?
Well, not really. It's for 4 separate villages with about, as I said, 5,500 homes. Only one of the villages is completed at the moment. I've heard that new buyers are very reluctant to commit until the landfill question is solved. Now, if people don't buy, the progress will slow down and it might stop altogether. That means no more schools. There's already one school built there. No public amenities and shopping centres. No railway station.
Zena, really interesting talking to you. Zena Herbert there from Wixham's. Well, FCC Environment, the people behind the plans, weren't available this morning. They gave us a statement which says our plans to develop an integrated waste management plant at Elstow South are designed to provide a much-needed facility to treat commercial and industrial waste sourced from the local region. Our plans provide a suitable method of treating waste in a suitable manner.